Well, the first garden that I wanted to show you today is actually the entrance garden to the OBGA headquarters gardens. And you'll recall a couple of years ago, this was a student project. We kind of wanted to dress up the entrance and make it look like a garden so that people would know where we were. And we showed you at the time some of the installation and some of the plant materials, but I wanted to show you again just how nicely this garden has aged. Gardening, like most things, actually, we'd like to have an instant garden, but after it ages for a while, it usually tends to get a lot better. And this is an example of that. Now, this is in an area that doesn't get a lot of maintenance, and you can see we have just a few weeds, but not too many. And overall, it's a very pretty looking garden. Now, the plant materials that were used here are really pretty basic. We've got some sedum up in the front. We also have Rosy Glow Barberry that's doing very nicely. We have some snapdragons here for some annual color. And we also have some of our daylilies that are starting to bloom. And right here, one of our good standbys is our lamb's ear. We have that nice fuzzy look, and it's actually starting to bloom. Now, some people don't like the bloom on the lamb's ear, and you can actually just cut that off down at the base, but I think they're kind of pretty. Now, over here on the other side, we have some perennials that are really looking great, and one of them that I wanted to show you, just outstanding right now, is right up here in the front. And it actually was a perennial plant of the year back in 1996, and that's the Husker Red Penstemon. And you can see here, it's just absolutely outstanding. We've got blooms all over the place here, and it actually grows about 30 inches tall, and I'd say this is a good 30 inches here, and we have a nice red stem, red leaves, and we also have some pretty kind of a purplish white flowers up on the top. Not only is this a good plant for the perennial garden, but it also makes a really good cut flower. It has a strong stem, and these will actually last several days in a vase. So this makes a very nice cut flower in addition to the perennial garden. Now, the thing about planting Husker Red Penstemon, and you can see here it's survived both last summer with its blazing heat and no rain, and this summer where we're having rain almost every other day. It's really quite hardy. The thing is to plant it in a place where it's got good drainage, and we've got a raised bed here, so that's what it needs. Now, it can be planted actually in full sun or in partial shade, but the main thing to think about is the drainage on it, and it should do very well for you. Now, another plant that has been doing very nicely for us is the May Night Salvia, and this is kind of a shorter salvia than some. It's only 18 to about 24 inches, and it has a beautiful blue stalk on it, you can see here. Now, it actually was blooming quite a bit more for us a little bit earlier, but if we go ahead and deadhead these and take our old blooms off, you can see that we have got tons of new blooms coming on. So we could just go through here and deadhead this, and this should just keep blooming for us all summer long and make a very nice spot of blue here in the garden. I just basically wanted to show you how this garden has progressed since you saw it when we first put it in, and it's really developed very nicely for us.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.